Work, 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 work. You see me have you work, 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 work. You see me do me dirt, 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 dirt. So me for that work, 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 work. When you walk a line, I'm in the cafe, my drive me, I desert it. Nothing to have you lurking. You make a like, now you don't like it.
What's your popping, guys? Your girl is back with another video. If you did watch my last video, I look shiny as I look like I'm sweating, but it's just because the light is so bright behind me. But anyways, if you guys just finished watching the last video, hopefully you did. It was my labor and delivery story. If you just finished watching that, this is just a tail off the end, basically talking about postpartum depression, as you can see in the title. The babies are here sleeping. I'm about to put Ocean on his belly because my babies sleep better when they're on their bellies. How do your babies sleep? Like, we recently started putting them on their belly and they sleep so much longer that way. So that's how we put them to sleep now. But yeah, I'm going to talk today to you guys about my postpartum depression and what that was for me and what that was like. And just the whole details of that. I'm really proud of the babies because in the labor and delivery story video, they did so well. They didn't make a peep. And they slept. So I'm proud. Like, all right, guys, let's get right into the video. Boop. All right. Oh. All right, guys. So I wanted to discuss with you postpartum depression. In the last video, I was saying that when I had Jada, I didn't have any postpartum depression at all. So I didn't think that I would have it with the twins. I just thought, oh, okay, well, I didn't have it with Jada, so this probably won't affect me ever with any kids that I ever have. I don't know what the fuck I just said. But anyways, so about the day after I had the babies, I was really, really emotional. I cried a lot throughout the day just looking at them and just rethinking and like replaying over the whole experience of the birth and the C-section and just seeing them the first time and just everything. Every time somebody came to visit them, I'd be crying, just like talking about it, or like, you know, seeing their reaction to the babies and stuff like that. So I was really emotional that day, but probably for that first 5 days, that's how I was. I would cry for every little thing. Like, every little thing would make me cry. Like, everything. Stupid things too. Well, what I considered stupid, like, just, I don't know, like being tired, I would cry. If I didn't get something to eat that I wanted to eat, I would cry. Like, baby stuff. Like, I was really, really just like every little thing ready to cry. Ooh, my kitchen. Okay. Yeah, so focus, girl, focus. Yeah, I would cry for every little thing, and it made it really hard for me because I felt like everybody was just like what's wrong with her? Like, why is she crying? Like, you know, like, why is she crying so much? Like, and for me and my wife, like, I'm sure even my wife was just thinking, oh, you know, she just went through a lot. Her hormones are changing. She's, you know, she's getting back how she feels. Like, you know, like, her whole body's changing. So nobody took it as like, this could be postpartum depression. Nobody even said that to me, that they think that this could be what I'm going through or anything. I also didn't talk about it. I just went through it. And then after the first 5 days, I would literally go in the bathroom or hide in my room and cry. I would go in my closet and cry. I would cry by myself all the time because I started feeling like I'm doing too much. Like, I'm crying too much. People are gonna just be like, what the fuck is wrong with this girl? Is she not happy to be a mom? And to be really honest with you, it had nothing to do with being a new mom. Like, of course it had to do with being a new mom, but it had nothing to do with not wanting to be a new mom or not wanting the babies or anything like that. It had nothing to do with that because I was completely happy and in love with these new babies and my new family and being a mom of 3 now. I was really, really happy. So it was like I couldn't pinpoint exactly why I was crying, and that made it hard for me because it made me feel psycho. It made me feel like I was crazy. It just made me feel like it was something that I shouldn't be doing. Like, I was crying for no reason, and it made me beat myself up and like question myself, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, so yeah, I went through that and it lasted probably almost 3 weeks. All this crying and stuff, like, yeah, it lasted about 3 weeks of that, of me just feeling hopeless and just crying all the time. I would have to take time away to cry. Like I would just break down crying. Like thoughts, little thoughts would just come in my mind, like just thoughts of, sometimes there was no thoughts, but little thoughts would come in my mind, just like, oh my god, they're so cute, or I can't believe they're mine, or these babies are really mine. And just, I think the overwhelmingness of it all, just now I have 2 new human beings that are mine and they belong to me, and just everything that we've prepared for through the whole year, and just everything that we talked about, and everything that we bought, and everything we set up and put together and changed and got ready for these babies is really in effect now. Like they're really here. They're really here. There's no more waiting. I think that I also, near the end of the depression, I was grieving. I was grieving being pregnant, because I really enjoyed being pregnant. I'm one of those psycho people, crazy people, if you want to call it, that loves to be pregnant. And I love knowing that there's a little baby or babies in there that are counting on me, and that need me, and that I'm responsible for, and that I'm their first home. I think that is something that is so special and beautiful to me, and I absolutely love it. I'd be pregnant for the rest of my life every day if I could. So yeah, I think I grieved the being pregnant process and the fact that they were no longer inside of me. And that was like a subconscious thing. I'm only able to analyze now and kind of look back and say, yeah, that was probably one of the things that I grieved. But for the most part, it wasn't any specific thing, one thing that made me emotional. I remember I went to stay with my mom probably a week after the babies were born. I went to stay with her for like 3 or 4 days just to get some help, and because my wife has to work, so also to give her a little bit of a break so that she could get back to work and be refreshed. So I did go for 3 or 4 days, and during that time I was still really in the postpartum depression, you know, stages, and I was crying a lot. My mom pulled me aside and she was like, "You're doing a good job, you know that, right? You're doing a really good job." And it's not like I felt like I wasn't doing a good job, but those little things that people say, it helps. It makes you feel better. Like, I would say if you have a wife or a spouse, or, you know, yeah, a wife, it has to be a wife or a girlfriend or somebody that you're with, or even just a friend or somebody that you know that's pregnant and they're going through a depression, or you notice that they're going through a postpartum depression, they're crying often, or they're down, or they don't want to see people often, or they do, because for me, I wanted visitors all the time while I was depressed, because it helped distract me from the depression, if it makes sense. I would still have moments while I had my guests that I'd run into the bathroom and try to hide and cry and stuff, but because my skin is light, when I would cry, my nose would be red, my face would be red, so it was so obvious. My eyes are big, so it's like you can tell that I'm upset. But those type of comments, like, they help you feel better, because for me it was like, okay, I'm allowed to feel this way. It's okay for me to feel this way. Nobody's looking at me like a burden or like annoyed, like, oh, she's crying again. Like, so just being reassuring and positive and still being there for the person is really helpful. And just, you know, telling them they're beautiful, and, you know, just telling them they're doing a good job, and to take it easy and don't beat yourself up. Those are the things those are the only things you can really say. And it doesn't mean it's going to stop them from crying, or from feeling those ways or being moody, but it does help deep down inside. And, you know, just ask them what they need. Do they need space? You give them a little bit of space if they need it. Otherwise, be there for them, and just be, you know, helpful as much as you can, because having a baby or babies is a very traumatic experience. Okay, it's very underrated, I should say. It's very underrated, and pregnancy is huge. Like, you're creating a whole ass human being. Like, this is a lot. And for me, I was creating 2 human beings at the same time. Like, that's really overwhelming, and a lot on your body. And when you have a baby and you give birth, like, your whole your whole body, your emotionally, physically, everything, spiritually, you are going through stuff. Like, it's a whole mixture of things to get you back to where you're supposed to be, you know. So don't beat yourself up. Give yourself time. Love on your babies. If you are feeling opposite of how I felt, and it's about your babies, and it's more of you don't want to be around your babies, you know, do the most safest thing and make sure that you tell somebody that. Have your spouse take care of them more, and while you're going through it, you know, just to keep you safe, and also to keep your baby safe, you know. Yeah, because it can be a really dangerous thing, you know. And for me, I'm grateful that it didn't last much longer than almost 3 weeks, which to me was, while I was in it, felt like it was forever, because it was every single day. I didn't feel like dressing up. I didn't feel like doing anything. I felt so out of body. Like I did not feel like myself. And I'm just now, while they're 2 months old, I'm just now starting to feel a little bit like myself. Although I am still depressed about certain things. I wouldn't call it the postpartum depression, because I'm not crying every day. I'm not crying. I'm not hiding in a closet, nothing like that. My depression now regards to my weight, and just, you know, just like still adjusting to being a mom of 3, and, you know, balancing my time through between Jada, the twins, my wife, and also making sure I have time for myself. So it's just still balancing that. But I did want to just quickly make this video to hopefully have somebody relate with me, and also to hopefully help some other women who are possibly going through this, because postpartum depression is a real thing. And I seen a post actually yesterday saying, where some guy was talking shit, saying, oh, women just, it's an excuse, women are just sad after, because it's just an excuse that they don't want to take care of their baby, or some stupid ass ignorant ass comment like that. And there are husbands, boyfriends, baby daddies, friends out here, you know, making women who are going through postpartum depression, making them feel like shit, and making them feel like they should just get over it. Hurry up, why are you always mad? You just had a baby, you should be happy. All these stupid comments. Like, this is not what that woman needs, okay? Like, you need to be there for this woman, and you need to really understand that giving birth is an extremely traumatic experience, okay? It's a lot. It's a lot to deliver a baby, okay? Much less multiples. So I suggest, you know, you just be there for your friends, your partners, your daughter, your sister, your mother, whoever it is, your wife, yeah, whoever it is. Just be there for them as much as you can, and just let them know it's okay, and give them the time they need to get over it. Make sure also that you discuss this with your OB, because maybe there's something he can do for you, or he can guide you the right way, because you don't want to go through this by yourself. So if you can't talk to anybody, you'd make sure you talk to your OB. You should at least have an OB if you had a baby. So yeah, I would just say, just make sure that you do that, and stay as positive mentally as possible, even when it's really, really tough. Sometimes just getting dressed and putting on a little makeup makes you feel better. Sometimes you don't feel like it, you know, but do what you can to help yourself, because you have to be okay in order to take care of your babies and take care of your kids. And that energy does feed onto your children. And that's why I said, make sure you have somebody to help you if you know that you are depressed, and you know, you need help. Like, needing help is okay, you know, especially if you have 2 babies. You should be getting help. You need to ask for help. Don't be ashamed to ask for help. For instance, after I had the babies, I got a phone call from my hospital offering to send a nurse over to help us, and it was a free thing offered by the government, which I didn't know about. That's amazing. So there are some people who don't have support like how I have, and you know, there's people out there that are ready to help and willing to help. So take the help when you can get the help. Another reason that I was struggling was because in the beginning I did not want to take the help. I wanted to be super mom. I was running myself freaking ragged, and I would just like do everything. I didn't want nobody to do anything for the babies. I wanted to do everything for them myself, and that makes it hard too. Like, that adds to the depression, because you need rest. Lack of sleep adds to post-traumatic depression. It adds to postpartum depression. So make sure that you are able to get that rest, and give up some of the control, which is what I had to learn, because I'm a huge helicopter mom. Give up some of the control to, you know, accept help. And that really, really makes a huge difference when you get enough sleep. Yeah, because for me, that's why I wasn't able to breastfeed as long as I wanted to, because of lack of sleep. I stopped creating milk because I wasn't getting enough sleep, and now I have to deal with that, you know. So that will be in another video. Stay tuned. I will talk about my breastfeeding experience with the twins, because yeah, that was a lot. But anyways, guys, I don't want to make this video too long. It's already at like 12 or 13 minutes, a little too long for me. So make sure that if you guys watch this and it's the first time you're seeing me, thanks so much for checking me out. Make sure that you hit that subscription button at the bottom. Make sure you like, subscribe, share everything in this video. Until next time, tubies. I'm always doing all this shit, yeah. Until next time, tubies. Deuces. Oh, bye.
It's me, I feel work,